Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan. Welcome to Resume Building with No Experience. Let's begin. Lesson number 1. There are 6 lessons or 6 modules in this course. This is the first lesson where I will introduce you to the course, what we're doing here, and we're going to get our feet wet with resume building. This is your introduction to Work 1001. First of all, before we dive in, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Ryan. I'm from Brampton, Ontario, Canada, which is just outside of Toronto, Canada. I'm a language teacher, an English language teacher, and also a communications teacher. I've been doing this for 7 years. I'm a teacher trainer as well. I actually help prepare English teachers to teach English. I am a curriculum designer and I am a pedagogical innovator, meaning I like to find the sweet spot, the areas where I could kind of push the envelope, push the limits of education, find out different innovative, creative, and engaging ways for teachers to teach better and learners to learn better. I am obsessed with the magic of learning, the magic of teaching, and finding out that right balance between effectiveness and efficiency in education. I'm a college professor. I teach at 2 colleges right here in the Greater Toronto Area. I teach different courses related to reading, to writing, to presentation skills, cultural studies. So I encounter students, hundreds of students, thousands of students per year actually, at the post-secondary level who are from all different disciplines and domains of work. I'm also a university instructor. That's actually where I prepare students to teach English. I teach in a TEFL program, which stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language, and that's a postgraduate certificate program. I have taught thousands of students, both in person and online, different proficiency levels. Some of them, English is their first language, and they just need to learn the ins and outs of like academic or professional English. Some of them have been complete beginners to English, right? I have the philosophy that there's not good English nor bad English. There's not right nor wrong. There are just appropriate uses of English and appropriate types of English in different situations. So what we're talking about in this course is an introduction to professional English, an introduction to ways that you could begin preparing for applying for a job. And we're really going to go way outside of just focusing on language and focusing on communication and the different strategies you have on a daily basis. As I said before, I'm passionate about all things education. And if you have any questions, please contact me via welearnahead@gmail.com. All of the links will be in the box below of this video. A little bit about this course. So this course consists of 6 modules. In this live stream right here on our Learn Ahead YouTube channel, we're going to be going over the first 3 modules today. So we're going to do half of them today, and we're going to do half of them in a future live stream. In total, the watch time will be about 45 minutes. That's it. We don't ask for a lot of time, but we are going to give you many tasks and activities that you could do on your own time as we go through. So you have the choice to pause and do these activities and then come back and continue watching if you want to. All right. This includes more than 30 work-related resources on our website. It culminates with a resume building workshop and report. This is perfect for new high school graduates. So students who are graduating from grade 12 or grade 13, whatever grade that is in your country, and they don't know what they're gonna do, or maybe they're thinking about taking a gap year. Post-secondary graduates, so students who are just graduating with their bachelor's degree or a diploma, and they don't know what they're going to do, or they know what they're going to do, but they need a bit of a push to actually do that. Or for new arrivals, and we're going to talk about about this more in a moment, why Immigrants to certain countries may actually find this course very useful as well. So the course roadmap, congratulations, you're here. We're in the first lesson right here. This is the introduction. Welcome to Work 1001. Work 1001 is just the course code so that you're able to navigate like your way to this course and to the sequels for this course in our course catalog on our website if you're interested. This course is absolutely free on all platforms, but we do have supplementary resources and we do have follow-up courses which go a little bit more in depth into these themes so that you could further build your skills. So yeah, Work 1001, this is the starting point. In lesson number 2 or module number 2, I like using the word module, but they're interchangeable here. We're going to focus on strategy building. So focusing on different strategies you could / should implement as a job seeker. Those could be financial, organizational, and wellness strategies, and many more. In lesson number 3, we're going to focus on certification, on the paperwork. Don't we all love that? Well, in fact, that's usually what makes or breaks a lot of people depending on the domain that they're in, and the philosophy behind the company or the person who is hiring or not hiring them. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about ways to identify and build your education and certification in your desired field. Number 4, a focus on skills. So we're going to shift from certification to skills. We're going to focus on identifying and building skills in your desired field. And finally, a focus on experience, identifying and building experience in your desired field. Everything we do today could be done from your chair that you are in right now, or if you're at a standing desk, in the shoes or the socks that you're wearing right now, the slippers. And finally, future direction. So we're going to finish up by kind of, wrapping up, concluding. We're actually going to get started on our final culminating assignment, which of course is optional. And we're also going to talk about, as you continue your quest or your journey in your job search, where you could find more resources to help you improve. So the philosophy behind Work 1001, I just want to tell you really quickly, just like with all of our courses, we focus on 4 things: relevance, learner-centeredness, engagement, practicality. In a nutshell, we want this to be as useful, effective, but also efficient as possible. We know you're all busy. We know you have families, you have other jobs, maybe you have other jobs, maybe you don't, and that's why you're here. But we know that you have other things that you're doing, other courses you're taking, I guess. So we want to make sure that we could make this applicable to you. However, how is this different from other resume building courses, cover letter building courses, or professional skills courses? Well, number 1, this is focusing on bite-sized learning. All right. We're not trying to rush our way through, but we are trying to focus on, shorter kind of courses that could allow you to just get your feet wet. So you don't have to sit there for a couple hours just to get the gist. So that's one thing. Accessible learning is free, right? And we try to make this as accessible as possible. You have nothing to lose here. So congratulations on being here. Obviously, there's a reason why you're trying to find a job and why you're trying to find resources to help you find a job. You've come to the right place. Just because it's free doesn't mean it's bad. We're trying to make it accessible. We focus on interdisciplinarity. So as I said, I am a college professor and I teach nursing students, communication students, business students, English students, students in the arts, in the social sciences, in the sciences, you name it, right? And I have been able to identify some of the common challenges and some of the common strengths from different students, from different backgrounds in different domains. So, it's not the full picture. None of us are complete experts, but it gives us a start, and it's given me a foundation, and it allows us to give you some food for thought as you start your job hunting. Um, Tasks could be completed from the comfort of your own home, and tasks could be completed in under 3 minutes. This course really wants to be different and distinguish itself from other courses by like giving you tasks that you could do right now, that you could just pause this and you could finish 5 out of 10 tasks in the next 5 out of 10 minutes. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to stay away from ambiguity and give you more clarity. We're trying to stay away from, you being given a simple, doable task, but a task that for some people, especially procrastinators, is difficult, is a lot, is overbearing, and a little bit intimidating. Something like saying, hey, just write a resume. Go ahead. That to us is not just an easy task. We would rather go through like bite size, step by step, digestible steps for you to, build these skills, build these experiences, build this certification. Tasks could be completed for free. So we're not going to redirect you toward something that's behind a paywall or something like that. And supplementary resources are available. So a lot of them come from our own website. Some other ones, like job search engines and different resources specific to your domain, we will have links to them, and we will provide those to you. So why have we put this course together? Well, for me, I have heard these kinds of complaints from my current students and my former students. I find it frustrating to navigate a competitive job market and struggle to find suitable entry-level positions. I am having difficulty securing a job due to lack of relevant work experience. It feels like a catch-22 situation where employers seek experience, but it's challenging to gain experience without job opportunities. It's that vicious circle, right? The pressure to start repaying my student loan debt immediately after graduation is stressful, and it adds to the financial burden. I feel lost and uncertain about the right career path, struggling to align my passions with available job opportunities. Working in a job that doesn't utilize the skills I acquired during my education is disheartening and leaves me feeling unfulfilled. Here are a few more very quickly. Adapting to the professional workplace culture has been difficult, and I find it challenging to understand office dynamics and meet workplace expectations. My experience, skills, and certification, which I got in my home country, don't transfer over in this context. So this brings us back to the point about immigrants. A lot of immigrants have the paperwork, but it doesn't align with the paperwork or accreditation in the country that they've come to. I usually feel inadequate or question my abilities. I have imposter syndrome. Building a professional network is challenging. I often feel overwhelmed. Navigating networking events and establishing meaningful connections. I'm disappointed with the benefits and perks offered by employees, like healthcare coverage, retirement plans, and professional development opportunities. Adapting to remote work environments has been challenging, particularly for roles that traditionally involved in-person collaboration. So just a few things right there. You're not alone. You're in the right place. So let's get started with our very first activity. And this activity is going to be directly applicable to how we will finish this course with your resume, when we will start to build your resume, your first cover letter, and your professional portfolio and philosophy. So all I would like for you to do is to take 2 minutes, please. Look at these 30 values and write down 5 values that you hold dearly. 5 of these things that mean the most to you. You might say, oh, all of these mean a lot to me. Just focus on 5 that mean the most to you. All right, this is personal. I'll leave you to it. I'll set my timer for 2 minutes. Pretend I'm not even here. Great. I think that's about it. All you had to do was choose 5 words, write them down on a piece of paper. That's it. I'll explain to you why that's important later on in this course. So we are going to take a quick 1-minute break. You could go and grab some water if you'd like to. And after that, we will begin lesson number 2. I'll see you then when we will talk about strategy building. Okay, everyone, we're going to dive into lesson number 2. I know it was a short break, but we want to make sure that we're not spending too much time in this bite-sized micro course. In this lesson, we're going to focus on strategy building for job seekers. Let's begin. So I've heard this before. I need a job. So basically, I need to find a job, which means I need to search for jobs, which means I need to send applications, which means I need a CV. That's all there is to it, right? All I need is a CV or a resume, and then I'm good to go. Well, not quite. Here's what you need. And at Learn Ahead, we're firm believers in not only the product, but the process. A lot of you don't have time to kind of dot your I's and cross your T's, unfortunately. Like, that's just a reality. A lot of you don't have the resources or the patience, really, because of extenuating circumstances. So we're not going to try to pepper this up too much. But long story short, we need to start somewhere. And if you're the kind of person who has, for example, been procrastinating, or you don't know where to start, or you feel overwhelmed, or you get distracted easily, I think these 6 types of strategies will be very useful. For each type of strategy in this lesson, we're also going to dive deeper, and we're going to look at a few actions you could take right now in the next hour while you're sitting here in your chair to actually further develop those strategies. Number 1, time management strategies. Setting daily, weekly, and monthly goals. That is very vague though, so we're going to be more specific in our actions in just a moment. Organizational strategies. So for example, like automatizing your use of resources, your financial literacy. Communicative strategies, such as preparing for interviews, networking, writing a CV, so communicating with prospective employers or collaborators. Productive strategies, meaning like strategies so that you will be productive, strategies so that you will do stuff, strategies so that you'll get to work. Responsive strategy. So how will you respond to everything and anything that could come your way throughout the job seeking process? And finally, self-care strategies, mental, emotional, and physical well-being. Again, this is completely up to you which of these actions you want to do. This is all food for thought. We're not trying to project beliefs onto our students, but these strategies are all useful in their own way, and we will give you a few potential actions you could take right now to start developing those strategies. So the thing is that you have a goal, but the question is how you're going to get there. So it's not just about having a resume, but it's also about every single little second, every breath that goes into the process to building that resume, building that portfolio, preparing for that job interview, and nailing that job interview. So let's start off with time management strategies. You've probably heard of these. So we're going to start off with the vague, ambiguous, general stuff that you have probably heard or seen in other courses before. Or if you haven't, then you're lucky you came to the right place, because we're not going to bore you with these. So you've probably heard of these SMART goals. Write down some SMART goals. Okay, great. Batching. So so if you have a bunch of tasks, put related tasks together into different groups or batches. Okay, great. Prioritizing. Yeah, of course, do the more important things first and the less important things after. Time blocking, making sure that you're organizing your time according to, certain like increments. For example, for the first hour, I'm going to, focus on reading. For the next hour, I'm going to focus on studying. The next hour, I'm going to focus on marking and creating a schedule. Okay, great. That sounds like great, but that's not very specific. So for those of you who really want something specific, pause the video, do these things now. Number one, set a 10-minute timer on your phone. That exercise and activity in and of itself shows that you're paying attention to time. And I know that sounds silly, but I mean, that is a place to start for a lot of you. If you have a smartphone, or if you have any device, even your computer, it probably has a timer. Get used to using it. Get used to using the alarm. Get comfortable with using these different resources. Even if you're thinking, but Ryan, I'm a coder. Obviously, I know how to use an alarm. I know how to use a calculator, but let's use them, right? Because sometimes the most useful things are hiding in plain sight. Number two, after that, find a schedule. Okay, so this could be a digital schedule or a paper-based schedule, or it could be a schedule like a calendar you have on your wall. Write something on it. Anything. Literally write down the word tomato on it. Write down the word hippopotamus on it. Just write something on it. Again, it's about just like using the resources you have. Okay, you don't want to waste the resources you have, but the most common issue with my students who are trying to find jobs and are procrastinating is that they just can't start, and they buy things that could help them to job hunt, but they don't use them. So we're going to use it. We're going to just write down a word. After that, download a free productivity app. Literally go to the App Store, find a productivity app, download it, like a free one. Open the calendar tab on your computer. Create a task on that calendar. So you could use like Google Calendar or Microsoft Calendar, whatever. Next, set a reminder for tomorrow to continue your job search. That's it. Literally take your schedule or your calendar, flip it over, go to tomorrow, just write down continue job search. So that's just something, and keep it open on your desk. Set a work 1001 course completion deadline, maximum 1 week. This is only like a 1 hour course, so maximum 1 week. And set an application deadline. This is the deadline for your very first job application, maximum 2 weeks. That could be an application on Indeed.com, which we'll talk about after, or it could be like actually emailing somebody like a cover letter. Okay, those are a few actions right there. Let's move on. Organizational strategies. You've probably heard of these ones right here. You should set goals, Ryan. You should make a list of things that you need to do, Ryan. You should chart things or make a web of things you need to do. You should label things that you need to take care of. You should visualize things. So maybe if you don't work very well with text, then you should draw pictures of things that you need to do, or draw pictures which help to kind of compartmentalize information. Okay, very nice, good strategies. But like a lot of us we could do this. So it's pretty much a skill, but it's about intentionally planning to do this. And in order to do that, for a lot of you, it comes down to doing it, right? Like it comes down to like starting small with bite-sized pieces and then growing larger. So here's what I'd like for you to do. Pause the video, do this now. Open a Google Sheet. Getting used to Google Sheets could really help you with making lists of different, tasks you have to do and checking them off, or maybe even finances, budgeting, etc. Next, establish a workspace at home or in public. So, do you do your work in your office? If so, keep that in mind. That is my workspace. That's where I work. Um, if you go to the library, what's your favorite like part of the library kind of thing? Choose like just visualize it, okay? Next, declutter. Okay, this is going to sound silly, and I'm not saying it works for everybody. These are just ideas, okay? But a desk is a cluttered mind, as I say. So declutter, okay? If you have papers all over the place, if you have pens and stuff all over the place, start stacking paper. Like right now, start putting pens back in their places. Here, I'll start for you. I have a highlighter right here, which I actually just have on my desk. There it is. It's in the cup holder, right? For the Michael Scott World's Best Boss, right? Okay, great. Open a tab with a general search engine. What I mean by general is something like Indeed.com, Glassdoor, Monster. I will send you a list of different similar general job search engines. We have a blog post on our website with that. Bookmark it as well. That's very important. Bookmark it so it's staring at you every time that you try to scroll through Facebook. If you're still old enough to do that. And after that, open up a tab with a job board which is specific to your region or field. So for example, for me, maybe I could open up Indeed as like a general job board. And then if I want to do a specific one, I would look up like post-secondary college jobs or something like that, or university professor jobs hiring, and bookmark that one. Okay, so one that's general, one that's more specific. Communicative strategies. This is all about how you communicate what your skills, experience, and certification is to a prospective employer. So you've probably heard of these. Make a resume, write a cover letter. We will work on those for sure, but we need to start smaller first. Prepare for a job interview. Fill out an application. Make a professional portfolio. Okay, let's focus on things you could do right now. Pause this video. Think of one reason which has driven you to pursue your field, and just say it. Actually, don't even write it down. Just say it. What is one reason that has driven you to pursue your field? And money will be an obvious one. Growth could be an obvious one as well. But think even more like, it's something that I'm good at. Or think about a specific characteristic or quality you have that makes you good at that. Number 2, think of one experience which has driven you to pursue your field and say it aloud. Number 3, search for common cover letter vocabulary. Copy and paste 10 words into your document. Remember that Google Doc you opened earlier? Copy and paste 10 terms into it. We're not going to start writing a resume yet. First, we're going to just try to get the tools to create a resume. And after that, search for common resume vocabulary, copy and paste it into your Google Doc, okay? If you don't have access, there will be links below to pages on our website with extensive lists of vocabulary for resumes and cover letters. Okay, moving on, productive strategies. You've probably heard of these. Avoid procrastination, work smart, not hard, avoid distractions, make a plan, take a break. Okay, pause the video, do these things right now. Throw on some lo-fi or study music. Whatever music you like to study to or helps you concentrate, like instrumentals, whatever helps you. Next, this sounds silly, but are you thirsty? If so, grab a glass of water, because in order to be productive, one of the main things that hinder productivity is just discomfort, and that is going to make you distracted. So thirsty, grab some water. Hungry, grab a snack, grab a granola bar. If you feel like you just need to wake yourself up, go and wash your face or throw some moisturizer on your face. Grab a comfy piece of clothing. All right. If you're still, in your jeans and you're not feeling very comfortable, then throw on some track pants. If you're cold, go grab a blanket. Do you have a missed email or message and that's kind of just like weighing on you? It's at the back of your mind. Respond to just one. That's it, just one. Follow one page with music or speeches which motivate you. So part of productivity is actually is tied to the responsive strategies as well. It's about, persevering, right? And making sure that you stay productive even when your back is against a wall and you have difficult days. So if you are inspired by certain types of music, if you are inspired or motivated by certain like speeches or whatever motivates you, like if it's America's Got Talent videos or something like that, just go ahead, subscribe to one page that focuses on that. And finally, this is going to be pretty vague, but just reflect on what you've done so far. If you're still watching this video, I mean, we've covered a lot just in the past 20, 30 minutes. Look at how much you've done. Okay, two more. First of all, responsive strategies. You've probably heard of these. You need to improve your active listening. You need to be more professional. You need to communicate clearly. You need to ask more questions. You need to be more flexible. This will help you a lot. Potentially when you're in a job interview, if you are asked questions or given instructions which kind of like put you off or surprise you, or even if you run into roadblocks throughout the job search, you've probably thought about, okay, like I need to make sure that I'm flexible, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's a way that you could start developing responsive strategies. Pause the video, write down 4 things we have discussed so far in this course. Okay, just 4 things. That right there will show a little bit of that will show your active listening, basically, right? Your ability to kind of recite just 4 things of the many things we've spoken about so far. That will show how much you're listening. After that, write down 3 things that motivate you, okay? Write down 1 thing that annoys you. Write down 4 qualities of a model worker in your field of work. Write down 1 way you are a suitable candidate in your desired line of work. And subscribe to a channel or like a page of a role model in your desired field of work. So that could be like someone on YouTube, someone on Instagram, whatever, that you're inspired by, that you think, okay, that is the kind of lawyer that I want to be. That is the kind of NGO worker that I want to be. That's the kind of marketer that I want to be. Or not that exact person, but the kind, right? They have certain characteristics that motivate me. So all of these responsive strategies are really supposed to help you to prepare for the best situations in job hunting, but also the difficult situations, the challenging ones, dealing with rejection and things like that. So that's why we're focusing on things like motivation. We're focusing on things like annoyance so that we could like anticipate some of the challenges we may encounter. We could anticipate some of the limitations we have as human beings, and this is completely personal. You don't have to tell me, you're telling yourself, remember? But that way you could be mindful so that we could start to track and detect when we're reaching our limit and when maybe we need to take a break, maybe we need to change the strategy, things like that. And remember, as I said before, we have dozens of resources to help you even after this course. All right. And finally, the last one here, self-care strategies. Take care of yourselves. Just like, as I said before, a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind. Well, you need to be in your top form to score a top job. So you've probably heard of these. You need to sleep better if you want to perform better. You should try meditation. You should do yoga. You should be kind to yourself. You should focus on your breathing. These are great things. I'm not knocking them at all. I'm just saying that for some people who aren't geared towards doing these kinds of things, they might want alternatives, right? Or some people would like to do these things, but it's easier said than done just to kickstart it. So here's what you could do to start taking care of yourselves. Um, Pause the video, find a book and place it at your bed so that way you could spend a good amount of time either before bed tonight or first thing in the morning tomorrow, depending on whether you prefer reading in the morning or the night. The reason why it could be very useful to have some time to read is so that you're giving your eyes a break from the screen, so that you're giving your mind a break from that overstimulation. Okay, so that's the whole thing with the book. It could be a book, it could be a magazine. It would just be great if it's something text based. Okay, or even if you prefer playing like Sudoku or crossword puzzles or something like that, something that's like on a piece of paper, ideally. All right. And place it by your bed so that you will remember to spend at least a few minutes, and that's a few minutes less that you're spending frantically stressing about like going through Indeed.com. Set a reminder for screen-free time so you could use your schedule and say, okay, 8:55, no more screens. Do 5 lunges, squats, or twists right now if you're able to. If you're not able to, whatever physical or mental, activity you could do right now in the next like 10, 15 seconds, do it, okay? Trust me, that blood circulation, that movement, it's hard to get up and do it, but when you do it, it could just help you to sit back down and to like refocus, right? Ideally, I would say to you, go for a walk. But again, that's going into this area of like do yoga and stuff. For a lot of students or for a lot of job seekers, they're like, no, Ryan, I'm in my zone right now. I want to go. I have some momentum. The wheels are turning, so I want to like continue this job hunting process right now. So I get that as well. So you could just walk around your room a couple times. Next, follow a mindfulness social media page. Honestly, by mindfulness, I don't just mean some sort of like meditation or yoga kind of thing. It could be something religious if you are religious, or spiritual if you're spiritual. It could be even something like comedy, something that just warms your heart. It could be like I spoke about The Office before. It could be like funny compilations. Find something that will give you a little reset. All right, and try not to get distracted because we're almost at the end of this lesson. Write down one motivational message to your future self. Hey, Ryan, you've gotten a lot done this week, so that you could, read that tomorrow. Or it could even be something like started your job application or started work 1001. Like just so that you remember, yeah, I've done that. Write down 2 meals you will meal prep in the next week. Eating and diet is so damn important, and this is also tied to your financial well-being. Um, while you don't have a job or not the job that you want, there's a good chance that you probably need to focus on, your financial literacy and your financial well-being, right? Especially if you have a family. I don't need to tell you for you to know that. So, not spending as much by eating out, and this does depend on your resources and living situation. But if you're able to cook meals, if you have the means and the ability to do that, I strongly suggest write down 2 meals you will meal prep in the next week. I'm going to make a big pot of chili. I'm going to make a big shepherd's pie or thing of lasagna, right? Finally, text someone who is proud of you. Just somebody who appreciates you. Text your mom and just say, "Hey mom, hope you're having a good week," right? Or text your friend, text your coworker, one person who you think would be proud of you or is proud of you. All right?